well, for a while I was the football manager of the worst football team in the world, and they're a very small.
Never not funny.
Luton Town.
No, worse than them. A small island called Pompeii in the middle of the Pacific, tiny little dot in the ocean, was the only team in the world never to have won a game of any kind. So I went there specifically.
You've drawn Josie from her
Little
puzzle.
win.
Look how excited she is.
Yeah,
Because of
just
the
like that.
American-
In fact, funny enough,
Have you seen
well, they
the
to us.
win?
I've seen they to us were the giants. You see, like that world, because we were the non-FIFA. We weren't even recognised. I went in search of the worst football team in the world, so I could live my dream of being a footballer, and then ended up being the coach. But basically, it's a long-winded way of saying I used to live and work in this tiny little island that was a speck in the ocean. Getting there was like almost impossible. And one time I was flying from the UK to get to this island, and I'd fly to Dubai to Manila. From Manila, I had to get 3 more flights to get there. So it's 26 hours of flying, 38 hours door to door, basically. That was my commute. So there was one time I was flying, and I got to Manila. And at Manila, this happened quite a lot. They just said the flight before us to the island I lived on or was working on had overflown. And this is something I never heard of. Overflying is something that sounds like they've landed in the sea. But basically, if the weather conditions closed in on this island, they couldn't land a plane. And this would happen quite a lot. And someone, in fact, the guy who sat next to me on my first time I ever flew there said, it's the most difficult place to land in the world because the runway's so short. They have to basically do an emergency crash landing. So if it rains, they can't land there. So I was stuck in Manila and in the waiting room for the next flight. And it was my flight and there was another flight going out. And I sat just in this waiting room, about 60 people getting progressively more pissed off because they were telling us the flight might go today, might not go today. The guy next to me was an American guy, really, really big military-looking American guy. And everyone else in the waiting room's kind of calm. We're pretty resigned to the fact we're not going anywhere soon. He's just spitting. He's going, he's actually saying this like American movie cliches, like, I'll get the fucking bird up in the sky, all that kind of stuff. He's like, this. And I'm thinking, I gently said to the guy, I don't think it's going to happen. Sure enough, it doesn't happen. They cancel the flight and his flight. He was on another flight, but in the same waiting room. They cancel the flight and he's getting antsy, really antsy. They say, we're going to put you in a minibus, take you to a really nice hotel, and we'll try this all again tomorrow. But the problem is a typhoon hit Manila that night. So the rain's coming in, and this American guy's getting antsy. He's saying that I've got to get out tonight. But we all get herded into this bus, and I'm sat next to him thinking, this guy's getting a bit sketchy. Don't really like him too much. But on the bus, he starts saying to me, like, you don't understand. I've really got to get out of Manila. This is serious. I got to get out of here. I'm ex-US military, and I know stuff, and they don't want me in this country. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this guy, he seems kind of odd. So I appease him a little bit, and we get chatting. And he tells me basically 2-hour-long life story, but it culminates in the fact that he was in the military. He claims he learned some kind of military secrets that he wasn't supposed to know. And the US military now are constantly hunting him. And then he tells me that he's entered, the reason he's so worried about entering Manila, he said he entered Manila on a fake passport. It's not his passport, it's a forgery. He didn't think he was going to have to enter the Philippines. The Philippines has a pact where it sends everyone back to the US. It's like an extradition thing. He was supposed to just get the fuck out of there in transit and leave. So he's telling me all this on the plane around 4 other people who are listening to as well. So I'm like, this is sounding pretty sketchy.
Ripped.
Got back to the hotel. So we all get put in hotel rooms, get into hotel. Next morning, come down, guy's there. We have breakfast together. Just kind of a nice guy. He doesn't mention any of this shit the next morning. He's totally normal. So I'm like, did he just have an episode or something? The day after that, come down to breakfast, and there's only fucking US police there. And they're asking every single passenger to come in and have a chat to them. And they're basically looking for anyone who spoke to this guy who's absconded from the hotel in the middle of a typhoon.
And it was the Viking.
And here he is.
And the bit of this which sounds even more ridiculous than all the rest of it. So the military police basically are saying, did anyone chat to him? It's really like they're not pulling everyone into a room. No one knows that I have because I wasn't even on his flight. But then some fucker across the row says, yeah, this guy was chatting to him. into a room, and there's some military
Son
police
of a bitch.
saying, "Did he tell you anything? Did he say anything to you about where he might be going? Did he tell you about his eventual destination?" I was like,
Did he though?
"No, he didn't."
I was
I was like, "No." And they
text
basically
me the real answer though, right? This is for us, but
no. Well, this is the freaky shit. So no, like I didn't know anything. They left me alone. All blows over. Like I get out of Manila 4 days later after the typhoon. Get to Pompeii. Open the book I was reading on the plane, and like halfway through the book that I was reading, I was way ahead of this point, so I hadn't looked back. Halfway through, he's left a little slip of paper, and all it says in it is, "Hey friend, keep fighting the good fight." So I don't know what the fuck that was about, but basically,
oh my god,
I think about this quite a lot about this guy and who the fuck he was.
welcome to Conspiracy Arcade.
Yeah, there you go. Was that all right?
That's amazing.
Wow. There's nothing going on in the chat. We're all just like,
It was like the end of Homeland, isn't that what